All right, guys, good morning. We're going to do a little sawmilling today. Got my grandson Nathan with me here today. He's a college student, needing to make a little money, and he's going to help me mill today. I've got possibly my nephew coming down, Aiden. But so what we're going to do to start with, we're going to take this lumber I milled the other day. We're going to scrap it and carry it to the drying shed, and we're going to try to saw up all of these cants over here. But first, we've got to unhook the tractor from the clipper and put the fork on it, and we're going to show you that in just a second. But we're going to mill these cants today. They're getting a little age on them, but I'm going to go ahead and mill them and get them stacked. Got some logs over here we need to clean up and get out, and then we're going to go, probably not today, we won't get all that done, but we're going to eventually get some more logs. And but anyway, here we go. Okay, what we're about to do now, we're going to go ahead and disconnect the mower, and we'll pull around in a minute and hook up the fork so we can start grabbing some wood to start milling. I have found one thing about equipment. If you will use the manufacturer's jacks, pins, hook up connectors, park it on level ground, it is really easy to hook and unhook. I said earlier, when we were younger and living on the farm, our farm employees would throw a jack away, they would throw pins away, they made work hard on themselves. I can remember hooking things up, having to go find a dangerous high lift jack that would slip. But if you use these jacks and different things that come with this equipment, it's safe, it's secure, and it's easy. And I guess what I'm trying to say, I've learned as I've gotten older to work smarter, not harder. And I can tell you one thing about this tractor, and y'all, we had an old front end loader that you had to actually beat in 4 pins. The cylinders would not come out even. But this quick hitch on the Zetter tractor, and I'm not sponsored by them, I'm just telling you what I have and what I use. Guys, I can go from my fork. There's one little lever up there. When you want to release your implement, you just pull it back and it catches. You drive under, you just let your loader down, and it releases the bucket or the fork or whatever it is you're hooked to. You drive under the other implement, like watch this right here. I'm going to pull around, and y'all, when I did it in the old days, I would be out there sweating sometimes 45 minutes or an hour trying to hook up a fork or a bucket. But this, you just slip right underneath these hooks and just kind of raise your bucket up, your loader up. You catch those hooks. Once you get it caught in the slot, you lean it back. You lean it all the way back, and it self-locks, and you're done. You don't even have to get off your tractor. That is amazing how well that works. But anyway, we're supposed to go grab some cants that I already had milled. Into cants. I'd already cut some logs into square, what we call cants. But right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab some lumber we had already cut. Now, these are 18-foot long 1x12s. They're very long, and so I've got this place right here on my mill. I stick them. So as I mill, most of the time I'm milling by myself. Today, fortunately, I'm going to have some help. But so I just built a little rack here. I set the lumber on as it comes off the mill. I have a little stick rack on each end of this, so it's already got the sticks between them. And so what we'll do, we'll take ratchet ties and wrap around this stack. Now this is heavy, y'all. This is 18-foot long wet lumber, so it's heavy. So, but we'll take those ratchet ties and tighten it down real tight, and so the sticks won't move, and then we'll lift it up, and I'll just go set it in my drying barn, and I'm done. I don't have to do anything else. Once I leave the mill with this, I just set it in the barn and I'm done. Because one thing I could not stand sticking lumber over there in the mill, because like I said, most of my milling is done by myself. So here we go, guys. So I'm tightening the blade up. I always loosen the blade when I stop milling so it doesn't, make an indention on the rubber belt and make it rad rough. But I always just loosen the blade, and I've loosened it. And actually, this is a little log I pulled out of the pond. I decided to go ahead and pull one out to make just some outdoor 4x4 sticks while I'm temporarily handling the wood, just something I can set it on where I get my fork under it. So this is just a little log. I'm going to cut it up real quickly in some little small 4x4, 4-foot long stackers just to lay on the ground outside as I'm handling these stacks of lumber, shuffling them around, not to dry with. So anyway, this is what we're going to do right here. Because this mill sits up at times, I try to go crank it about every 2, 3, 4 weeks, but I guess just sitting up a lot, sometimes the carburetor doesn't run quite as good. So I went to a shop in town, and he sold me this stuff. I won't mention the name because I'm not sure if we're supposed to or not, but he swears by it. So I actually put a little bit in the gas tank, and the mill actually did idle and run better. So I'll keep a little bit of this in there. I think 1 quart treats 75 gallons, so it doesn't take much. But I did put it in there, and honestly, the rest of the day, the mill actually performed better. So I'm putting it in all my little engines. Now, I use ethanol-free. I cannot stand that ethanol gasoline on something that you don't use all the time, because if you put ethanol gas in these motors and don't crank them every week and run them, I promise you, it will clog up and crud up your carburetor. Anyway, right here, I'm going to go ahead. I think we're going to have to swap blades, but let's see what we got going on here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull these covers off. On this older Oscar mill, you have actually got to unbolt a couple wing nuts and lift these covers off. It's probably not the greatest design, but it's very safe, very solid. It just takes you a little minute longer. You don't just open the door open and change them. Each side has a little door, but hey, it's fine. It's hot out here today. Bang, I don't know what that was all about, but it's hot today. Was that a shot or?
No, it was something fell.
Something fell. That's hot, it's hot. So anyway, we take the covers off, we loosen that here. We'll get the big wrench I save over here. This is the big, what we call a crescent wrench, and I'll save it there so it's convenient. I have this weird saying. Always put your tools back in place, and it's so easy to find them. But when people just leave their tools laying around, they'll spend more time looking for the tool than if they hang it back up. That's just a silly saying I have, but I know it works. And I have another rule: 3 strikes and you're out in baseball. 3 strikes, you're out with my toolbox. You go in my toolbox, you don't put my tool back once, strike 1. Twice, strike 2. Strike 3. You're forbidden to ever go in my toolbox. It was so bad when I used to farm that I had to buy a cheap toolbox for every employee, because them knotheads would lose my expensive tools. And guys, if you know, good tools are expensive. So anyway, I don't have farm employees anymore. I lost too much money farming. Loved the way of life, but it didn't love me back. Good crops, horrible prices. But my wife and I, we had a good time farming, I guess. I was young, strong, dumb. I'm old and slow now. All right, we're gonna slap a new blade on here. Now I got a sharpener, but that's something to save them projects for wintertime. It's too hot to sharpen blades right now. You know what I mean? As you can see, I have an assortment of blades that need to be sharpened, and I have about another 50 blades over in my shop that needs to be sharpened. But I get lazy, and I just get on the phone and call Hudson, and I'm not sponsored by Hudson, but this is a Hudson Sawmill, and it is what I do, so I guess it's okay to mention their name. I call them and order my blades, rather than sharpen my blades. Maybe one day I'll get around to it and sharpen some blades. Or maybe not. Will it fit on there?
Yeah, it's on.
Go over the top.
And we've got to put it in the bottom as we go in the top.
Alright.
And then we get it so is it on there?
That's on.
Okay, we'll just slide it over there. All right, yeah. There we go.
I have a round to it if you
Huh?
I have a round to it.
It don't work. I've tried them. I'm just getting older and slower. But here we go. Now, probably before we tighten this all the way up, my grandson's sweaty, hot, and tired. I'm the same. He is younger than me, though, and he probably needs something to drink. So before we get dehydrated, guys, it is, I don't know why we picked the hottest days in the world to do this. But some kind of reason we do. But I'm putting a shed over this, around to it. If we ever get around to it, I'll put a shed over. Anybody wants to sponsor me and put a shed up, I'll pay. I'll put your name on the YouTube video. Ha ha. But anyway, just another project I need to do. So we're supposed to stop and go get something to drink. Come back and show you how you reassemble the sawmill. Then we're gonna saw these cans. Put my tool right here because I gotta use it right there before I finish and put it right back there, over and out. Hey guys, well we went and took us a break, got us a little water, a little Dr. Pepper. I don't know if I'm supposed to say Dr. Pepper or not, but that's what we do. We drink Dr. Pepper, Coke, whatever. So I'm not sponsored by Dr. Pepper, Coke, so don't freak out, Facebook or YouTube or whatever you are. Anyway, tightening the blade up here. So this Hudson mill has a manual tensioner, and honestly, I can almost just feel the tension and know when to stop. Now, yeah, they make gauges you can put on there and you can check your tension and all that, but I can just feel. Now, if the blade waves a little bit, I'll either tighten it up a little bit more or loosen off. You know, when you're milling, you just kind of feel it. But anyway, we're going to hang the wrench back up over here where it goes and put the sawmill cover back on. Now, these are, this is an old sawmill. This sawmill, my goodness, is probably 25 to 30 years old. I bought it used. Actually, it's probably 20 years old. Hudson probably could tell us better. But anyway, I've done a lot of upgrades to this mill. My grandson Nathan said, "What's that chain running all the way up and down the side of the mill?" And I said, "Well, Nathan, I got me a motor and a control and a chain. And now the mill head, you just hit a button and it drives itself. So actually, when you push this thing for a while, it's hard on your back. I had back surgery a long time ago. So, and then also did another upgrade to it. Hang on a second, you're having trouble with this, getting this wing nut on here. I did another upgrade, and I think I've talked about it before. This thing had a winch that you would literally lift it up and down. When you mill all day, man, that's hard. I developed what they call Costco chondritis. You have a joint in your chest, and I was working that winch so much that this joint right here became inflamed, and y'all, it felt like a heart attack. It was so bad. I mean, it was horrible. Couldn't move. It was just horrible. Went to the doctor, and they told me what it was. So you know what I did? I went and got me a winch. Put on this thing. And now it lifts itself up automatically. Just push the button. Just went down there to Harbor Freight. I don't know if I'm supposed to say Harbor Freight or not, but I did. And bought that winch there. I think it's a 2,500 pound winch. Same winch I have, if you look back there, on my homemade log turner. I have a battery and a winch, and I made that hook, made that stand that rolls down that I flip these logs with. Now, a little log, we use the PV. You know, but I had back surgery, so I don't want to lift any 28, 30-inch log with a PV or flip it over. Not good for your back, especially when you get old like me. Anyway, guys, we're supposed to fire this baby back up, putting the tools back where they belong so I know where they are, okay? All right, guys, good morning. Look who showed up. This is Aiden, my nephew. He came all the way from Alaska. This old fine boy is a West Point graduate. Look at them big old arms. We're going to put them arms to work today on the sawmill. Grandson Nathan, Louisiana University, getting a little out of shape, played football. Told me he's not in real good shape. We're supposed to cut some more lumber on the mill, guys. So y'all ready? Woo, 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 woo. Let's go, guys. All right. What's up? Well, we've ended up having a good day on the mill, about getting ready to go eat. But here's my little granddaughter. She picked up the blower because we always blow the sawdust off of the wood as we stack it and before we put it in the drying shed. So that little sweet darling came out to help. And I think she's going to exit, but she's a good little helper. If she sees you do something, she's going to jump in there. So I think she's supposed to get back with Gigi and head back to the house.
All right, Joe, there you go.
Well, guys, it's hot today, and it's hot out there today. Man, I got me another refill of Dr. Pepper. Hey, you got some stinking old Diet Coke, Nathan, Dr. Pepper. But yeah, we come in to eat. My wife fixed us a good meal. Roast snap beans on my bread guy myself, but it's really good.
There's salt.
In a minute, we're gonna eat here. You go ahead and eat, brother. You can go sit the wood there. Camera fright. No, but anyway, yeah, we've had a good morning. We've already milled about 3 cans. Milled 1 wet log, made some stacking sticks out of it, some 4x4s and some 1x1s, and we're stacking wood over here in the drying shed. But in a minute, we're going to town to the co-op to get Nathan some boots.
Oh yeah, I saw
So
those
the bottom of
boots.
his heels can see daylight, and that's not a good sign.
I saw those
And,
boots.
so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna go buy. I'm not being sponsored by Sonic, but we're gonna go by Sonic, get us a big old Route 44 sweet tea. All 3 of us.
I like the sound of that.
That sounds good. All right, guys, if y'all got anything to say it now because I'm gonna start eating.
Whoa.
And by the way, we did bless the food. Thank the Lord for it. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Ended up being a good day. We didn't have any breakdowns, no injuries, no smashed fingers. It ended up being a good day. You see, we milled some fine pine lumber here, 1x12s, and we got all but 1 cant cut up today, and we got it put in the drying shed. So, guys, again, appreciate you watching, and like and subscribe.